What up, guys? All right, so we are now in Thursday, week 3. I today did some ab work. Just finished doing that. I didn't do a pre-video section because kind of doing the same thing I was doing before, and I was just kind of thinking about kind of what I'm going to be talking about today. And really, what really came to mind today was nutrition and how important that is in the process. And I know I keep saying this over and over, but it really is. At the end of the day, nutrition is key. I was looking back at the Fit to Fat to Fit website I kind of showed you guys a couple days ago, or maybe reintroduced. And I was looking at some of his earlier vlogs, and or his blogs that I was reading over. And it's just fascinating how food affects you, and you're not really aware of it. So I kind of wrote a couple of the things that came to mind, or really caught my attention.
Virus database has been updated.
We'll keep that in. All right, so about a week in, and I only kind of did this for the first 8 weeks or so. After that, they just kind of progress. But the first week, he says he's more sluggish, tired most of the time, and he's getting hunger pains. Week 3, processed food cravings, more hunger pains. Week 4, hunger pains increase. He starts craving junk food, basically. Energy levels drop, and his self-confidence drops as well. Week 8, food withdrawals. He craves more and more junk food. He's getting lazier. He's more self-conscious. And he seems like he's just kind of settling with how everything's going. He kind of doesn't have the drive. That's kind of where I stopped logging them. You know, they progressively kind of add up, and those things kind of get more and more intense as the process went on. And it's fascinating because I don't think people realize that although emotionally this process is very difficult, whether or not you're losing weight or gaining weight or whatever it is you're doing when you have goals to attain, you know, there is a huge factor that food plays into all of this. Food actually does a lot more than you think it does. And there's been, you know, I countless people talking about this. You know, I'm sure there's been studies. I haven't been able to kind of research it yet, but there's been tons of stuff done about how food affects your body. I mean, the well-known one is kind of sugar. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of times you'll find yourself, you know, if you're a grazer, you're a snacker, you'll find a lot of times that you kind of gravitate towards sugar when you're stressed, or you have a lot going on, or maybe you're depressed or whatever. And that's because sugar releases endorphins once consumed, and it kind of gives you that pleasure sensation. So a lot of times you're probably not thinking about this. You're probably doing this completely subconsciously. But at the end of the day, you're actually consuming sugars because you're trying to get that natural high, that kind of up feeling after kind of being stressed or being depressed or whatever. You know, that's something very common that I don't think you realize you're doing, but you're probably doing one way or another. I know I was doing it in the past, and I know tons of people do it all the time. They just don't realize why they crave the sugar. You're not hungry, you're not craving food, because if you're craving food, you go get a full meal. I'm sure that one Kit Kat bar or that one Hershey's Kiss is not going to fill you up, and it's definitely not going to give you any sort of nourishment, but it's just something you want to snack on. And that's probably why you're doing it. So, you know, just kind of going back to my topic, food makes a huge part in not just your physique, but your mental game. You know what they say, what's the old saying, you are what you eat. And at the end of the day, you know, what you eat kind of does power you through the day, not just physically, but mentally. You know, there's a lot of kind of, I don't want to get too much into specifics, but at the end of the day, there's, you know, your brain has to function a certain way, and it needs to have certain level of nutrition and nourishment to do that. That's why countless studies have been made about, you know, eat this prior to a test and you'll perform better, or do this prior to this and you'll do this better because of what you've consumed. You know, there's a lot of truth in that. You'll notice a lot of people when they get to these stages where they're letting themselves go, you know, they start eating more of the saturated fats, more of the deep fried, more of just the junk, to be honest with you. And at the end of the day, you know, these things add up, and this does take effect to you mentally, and you get into this cycle where you can't break out of this nearing depression because you're eating the same junk, you're eating crap, At the end of the day, you just feel like you can't get out of it. I've been there. I got to the point where I gained tons of weight, after high school or whatever, and I couldn't get out of it. I just was sitting there and I was like sulking, and I just felt stuck, even though I was kind of going to the gym and really not working at the levels of intensity I should have, and maybe, and really in reality, the diet was a huge issue. But everything is kind of was a part of my failure then. But the food plays a huge role. People don't realize that the food plays a huge role in how you're actually feeling, not just physically with your energy levels, with your physique, but your mental game too. So take that into consideration. My tip is this: starting this P90X program, if you're looking to start it or you're already on it, sit down, spend a day, and clean out your kitchen. Clean out all the junk that you'd have that's considered junk food. Throw it all out. Give it away. Don't throw it all out. Give it away. Give it to somebody who just is not focused yet, doesn't want to kind of challenge themselves or whatever. Don't throw it away. Give it away. Give it to somebody. But, get rid of the junk. It's so much easier to graze on junk and crap when you have it sitting around, when it's at your hands, it's within your reach, or whatever the saying is. Get rid of all the crap. Start eating healthier. Get good snacks at the house. Get whatever you need to kind of get you through your day within your calorie deficit or surplus or maintenance, whatever. But, make sure that you have the right tools available to you for your goal, to reach your goals. That's just kind of my tip for the day. And I know some of you guys have little ones. 90% of the people on my challenge right now have kids or have little ones around them. And so I understand you might have kids, and that's fine to have treats for them. I also don't think you should be giving them tons of treats, but it's good to have treats for them. So I'm not saying, if you're one of those people, maybe have some around, but don't have a stash of them. Don't have a lot of them. You know what I mean? They're not, if you have the ability to where you have that much sitting there, you're going to consume it, unless you just have that strong of a willpower. So have a little bit here and there. They shouldn't be eating that much as it is anyway. So you need to completely stay away from that stuff and just kind of focus on your meals. Think ahead. That's one tip that I kind of tell people a lot, and that's one thing I've written about a couple times on my website. Think ahead. Think about what your next meal is going to be, because that's going to help you tenfold when it comes to getting mentally prepared to eat, or when you're at the point where you're like, I'm getting hungry, maybe I should grab a snack. No, it's okay, I have X coming up in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you have to do. Be proactive and really think ahead of what you're going to eat. And all those things are really going to help save you hundreds of calories a day probably. So anyways, that's kind of my tip for the day, guys. I mean, it's kind of back to nutrition, and I know it kind of seems like it's a boring thing to kind of keep talking about, but it's definitely important. I just ate almonds and feel like I have something stuck in my teeth. So anyways, that's the tip I have for you guys today. Any questions, comments, whatever, post them below. I see this getting some views, so shoot a comment, question, tweet me, Facebook me, whatever. I'm available on all those avenues. I just kind of want to help you guys get fit. And I know in the beginning this process was a whole new world to me, and it was definitely super overwhelming. And so if you guys have questions or anything, let me know. But we'll be back tomorrow for legs and back. That should be fun. See if we can trick somebody into coming over here and working out. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, guys.